We're in the third month of turning our first home into a rental property, and we are coming into the home stretch, about to get a tenant and start collecting rent income. But at this point, the decision fatigue is real. Hey friends, welcome back to Pennies Not Perfection. In this series, I am showing our journey from turning our first home into a rental property, because we did buy a new house and we are trying to make our first home into a income producing property. So in this video, I want to give you guys a little update on where we are in the process and walk you through two of the really big decisions that we are making right now with the rental property that affect our finances and everything about the property. And we just haven't come to a decision yet. Those two big decisions are, number one, should we self-manage this rental or hire a property manager? The second one is, should we form an LLC or just keep it in our personal names with an umbrella policy so that we are covered for insurance? Both of these questions have major financial implications as well as legal ones. So I am just trying to figure out, as a first-time landlord, what we want to do. And disclaimer, I'm not a lawyer or a financial professional, so anything I decide in this video or talk about is just what we are doing and sharing my journey. So it's not advice, just so you know. And first, let's talk about an update on our rental progress. So we have done all of the repairs at the house. We finished everything. We replaced the fridge. We bought them a new fridge. We touched up the paint. We cleaned up the yard. We did all of the work that we needed to. We listed our property. It is out there in the wild. We've been doing some showings. It's been seen by a couple different people. So we are waiting for the right tenant. And we have spent quite a bit of money on the repairs and mortgage payments and utilities and all of the things that just add up over the last couple months. And we're about to pay another mortgage payment soon. So we will have spent just over $7,000 before starting to collect any rent. That's a pretty big investment, especially for us. And it's made us a lot more serious about making all of the right choices for this house moving forward. So let's talk about those two big decisions that we have to make. Number one is that self-management or hiring a property manager. With a rental property, you need to decide if you're going to manage everything yourself, self-manage, or hire a property manager that does it for you for a percentage of the rent. And right now we are leaning towards self-management just because we do want to save money, and at least for the first year, but that hasn't been an easy decision. Here's why we are considering managing it ourselves. We want to learn the ropes and we want to know how to manage a rental property before we hand off a big investment for us to someone else. Number two, we really like having full control over the tenant selection and making sure that the criteria is high. And we want to make sure that things like repairs are done well. So we just want to have more control over the situation. And the biggest reason is that we would save 8 to 10% of the monthly rent, which is what most property managers around here charge. Since we would just be managing one property right now, it feels very doable, especially with tools like Baselane to help keep things organized behind the scenes. Inside of Baselane, I can tag every expense by the property and the category, so I can match it up to things that will make sense once tax time comes around. I can split and categorize all of my transactions like repairs and maintenance or utilities. I can also create sub-accounts for things like emergency repairs, for security deposits. It's creating sinking funds basically so that I can save up for future expenses, and I love that style of money management. I can also enter a tenant and start collecting rent directly through Baselane. So it does almost everything. It's basically a landlord's command center that acts like your own digital property manager and saves you a ton of time and effort.
And there's no hidden fees.
Even better, right now Baselane is doing a $10K giveaway. If you're a landlord or you're planning to become one soon and start renting out a property, you can enter for a chance to win $10,000 to level up your rental business. All you have to do is fund your Baselane Banking account with $2,000 or more. Then you have to maintain that balance for 30 days. And then you are automatically entered to win. That's all you have to do. It's very simple. There are terms that apply, so check the link with all of the details. But imagine what $10,000 could do for you. You could fully fund all of your repairs. You could furnish your rentals if you're doing short-term rentals. You could save up for your next rental with that money. So whether you're a veteran landlord or you're just starting out with a rental property like us, sign up for Baselane using the link in the description box and you can enter to win your chance to get $10,000. Using a tool like Baselane makes self-managing a rental property much easier, which is why we're leaning toward that option. But here's why we're still tempted to hire a property manager and work with a professional for our rental. Number one is that a property manager could handle tenant screening, late night maintenance calls, and other things that we haven't even thought of, like legal compliance and making sure that we're up to code with all of the things in the city. Basically, all of the stuff that adds stress and complexity to our lives if we decide to self-manage. Also, property managers know how to deal with issues like evictions or lease enforcement and coordinating licensed contractors for repairs at odd times, all of the things that maybe aren't my strong suit and things that I haven't done before. Also, property managers already have systems in place to keep everything running smoothly, and that is somewhere where we would likely struggle as we figure out our own systems. They could just hit the ground running and have things go smoothly from the beginning. Honestly, handing over the keys and not getting those 3 a.m. repair calls and the texts about things that are wrong is very appealing, like super appealing, especially with having 2 kids and other businesses to manage. As of right now, we're still debating save money and do it ourselves or pay for the peace of mind and outsource it. We can see the pros and cons of both options. So I would love to know if you have rented out a property before, what worked for you? Did you self-manage or did you hire a property manager? And let me know what went well for you with either option. Now let's talk about the second big decision that we're facing with this property, and that is how to actually hold this property and what to do with the details around it. So basically, do we put it under an LLC, which is what a lot of the people tell you to do, or do we keep it in our personal name since we just have one property and we get a solid umbrella insurance policy? So let's break down what we've learned and what we are kind of deciding to do. The first option is to hold the property in an LLC. And this is the route that a lot of real estate investors take. And eventually, if you have multiple properties, they definitely take this route. And it has some clear benefits. It creates a legal separation between you and the property, which could protect your personal assets if something goes wrong. And that is really appealing because you don't want to get into a situation where you are responsible for something that has gone wrong and you have no protection. This also helps you look more professional to tenants, to banks, to potential partners. There is a lot of benefits to having a legal structure and business structure in place. It can also make things easier as you grow your portfolio, as you're adding more rental properties, as you are doing more things with your banking or getting business credit. Having an LLC in place can really be helpful in those situations. But there are some downsides, especially for beginners, because you might need to refinance your mortgage into the LLC name, which is unfortunately sometimes coming with higher rates, especially these days. Additionally, there are extra legal filing and annual fees depending on your state, so it can cost you money to have an LLC and make sure that you are keeping up with it every single year. So basically, if you only have one rental, it might be a little more complicated than it's worth, at least at the start, because you do have to do so much extra to get the LLC, and it can trigger changes with your mortgage. The other option is to keep it in our personal names and get an umbrella policy. This is the option that we're leaning toward right now, and it's because I know people that do it this way as well, and there are some benefits. It's simple. We can just keep our mortgage as is. We've checked on that and that would be fine. There are no extra business filings or fees or anything extra to manage for the structure of the business. And you can get a $1 million to $2 million umbrella insurance policy. So you still get a good layer of liability protection and you can protect your assets that way. Even if we decide to keep it in our names for now, we're already tracking everything separately through Baselane with our financials. So we can keep the financial side really clean and organized, and that makes it easier to switch later on to an LLC if we decide to do that when we grow. So right now, even though it's in our names, we are treating it very much like a business behind the scenes, and that would be the route that we continue to take if we decide to go without the LLC. For us, honestly, we don't know if we're going to be landlords forever. We're going to try this out, and it's not a permanent decision for us. We may decide in a year or two that this is not it, and it's a lot easier to just invest in the stock market. So at that point, we would sell, and was it worth it to get an LLC for 1 year? Probably not. But it's also something that we are still deciding on and we're keeping on our radar. So if you've gone through this decision before, I would love to know what you chose and why. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on what we should do or what you did, whether you had an LLC or you just kept it in your name. We're still learning and we would love insight from other people that have been through this situation. So that's where we're at right now. We have listed our property. We have finalized our setup. We have actually shown it to people. We have gotten a couple applications. We have not selected our final person, our final tenant yet, But we are so close at this point. And don't forget to check out Baselane and their 10K giveaway before August 31st. It could be a big boost to your business if you have a rental property or do anything in the real estate business. Thanks for watching Pennies Not Perfection. I will see you in this video over here.